In a recent video, I mentioned Michael Pollan's excellent new book on consciousness, which is called A World Appears. I've now finished the book, and there's one item I want to take issue with, but before I do, I want to say it's a great book. It's for the public. It's not for an audience that has a lot of technical jargon to worry about. I recommend it. In fact, as the chair of consciousness psychology and transformation at National University, I put the book on our reading list for prospective students and also incoming students. So if you're looking for a non-technical, sensible, clearly written, and very grounded book on consciousness that raises some of the essential questions and issues that we're dealing with today, that's a good book to start with. So the item is this. It's almost a sidebar, actually, but in one part of the book, Pollan is talking about how feelings need to come into this, that a lot of our early theories on consciousness were very intellectualized and tended to leave feelings out of account. So he mentions that there's an important step in the right direction with that, because Damasio and a lot of other people who work with this all the time are bringing that up, bringing feelings into it, that they're actually fundamental, at least to our kind of consciousness. But the comment to take issue with is that Pollan says at one point that while thoughts can be unconscious, feelings cannot be. So we've got well over a century of clinical work and research that demonstrates exactly the opposite. Feelings can be and often are unconscious. And I have experienced this myself. When I did psychotherapy, I saw it in clients, and I saw it big time in the men's groups that I ran for court-referred men who had been arrested for violence. You wouldn't think a population of angry men would have any trouble understanding that they're angry, but they actually do. And part of why we were successful in our work with these men is that we would actually, in session, in group, do exercises to help them be more in touch with the fact that they were angry instead of acting it out, right? One could actually think of acting out anger as a defense against feeling angry. So it's completely possible. I can't tell you how many times new men would come into the group and they would say, I don't belong here, it was a single arrest incident and blah, blah, blah. And they would have all the signs of repressed anger. You know, I sometimes get irritable. People say I have a bad temper, but I'm not angry. I'm not an angry person, right? And then 2 weeks later, they'd have another incident and go to jail. And then they'd come back to group after they did their time. And the first thing they would say is, I'm an angry person. I had no idea how angry I was. So, and that's true for other feelings. It's possible to spend most of your life feeling sad about something that you never mourned. And then when the feeling finally surfaces, you go, wow, this is what was under there. So repressed feelings are actually quite common. And I think that needs to be said because, especially in a country like the US, which is so psychologically unaware, we go around as though we had no unconscious, in spite of all the research and clinical work and everything else. We come up with rationalizations all the time for why we do what we do, and they're always based in some kind of emotion. So we would do well to recognize the fact that we have unconscious emotions to deal with, including anger, including sorrow, including things we don't grieve, and including the outrage we often feel when we're in, let's say, a work situation year after year and we really don't belong there, but we're repressing and ignoring our outrage so we don't leave. So there's all kinds of reasons of psychological hygiene why we need to know this. So my wish for Pollan's book is that it go into a second edition. It's selling really well now, I guess. Second editions are a good thing for readers, for publishers, for the author, and if he ever sees this, that one piece about unconscious emotions not existing should just come out. Otherwise, it's a great book. I highly recommend it.